Hello and welcome to Battle with the Best of 'em with DrGAKMAN here. This is the end of the month video that I plan on doing every month. Going through the pictures here first. Two sun kerns right next to each other. There was some stuff that I missed in last month's video talking about Community Day Pokemon. There was a Vulpix in the wild. This is one of those ones that you could get as a shadow Pokemon back in December from Cliff, Team Go Rocket Leader, and notice there's no bells around its neck. So it's a shiny shadow non-bells Stantler. J-Walt got it. Go Team Instinct. I don't know why I took a picture of that. Then there will also be pictures mixed in of, that's the Spinaroo move there, of, you know, pictures that I took for my buddy, for the newer buddy system. 2020 glasses, didn't get them. I finally have the full shiny family of the Nidoran, females and males. So that's pretty awesome. I have to thank again, let me see here, I think it was Charles Oak and Supplies who got me my other two Nidoran males so that I could make the Nidoran male family. And I made it a lucky trade. Gave him early old one, Supplies there. Thank you so much. Some more pictures. I think this was take a picture of Ice-type Pokemon or something goofy like that. There's been a lot of glitches recently, but this was back in December, I believe, or beginning of January 2020. But I ended up in the sky, and somebody thought I was drunk. I'm not. I posted it and started singing, I could be if I could fly. Whatever. That was a joke last year, the Party Hat Wurmple, because he was on the splash page for Pokemon Go for New Year's, but it ends up being a real thing. So I was very excited about this, trying to show other people about it. You get 50,000 Stardust. They had this Adventure Sync thing going on. I think it was during the Hatchathon, maybe. I can't remember if you got 50 kilometers. It's supposed to be even more if you do 100 kilometers, but they don't track that. And I don't know if that's official or not, whatever. Regardless, they were giving a bunch of Stardust out, and if you had a Star Piece going beforehand, then you could get a lot. Here's my buddy. I was showing here that you can get two bonuses. Excuse me, one from a gift he can give you, and one from a souvenir that they can give you. So, 2800, I think that was like one of the larger CPs of any Pokemon that I've ever caught in the wild, but I always like to take a picture of the shadow ones, the new ones. This is my 7th shiny Murkrow, but then I found 2857 Snorlax. But here was the rewards that I had gotten from walking 52.9 kilometers one week. I got you get an egg, possibility of a 5K egg from 25 kilometers, and then 50 kilometers can get you a 10K egg. So, but yeah, 76,500 Stardust. That's awesome. More pictures. 3 Turtwigs in a row. That was crazy. Venomoth in the wild. That's crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna make a separate video about my trials and tribulations with trying to make my own Pokestops, but driving in a friend's vehicle over by where she lives. J Soul Barbershop. J Soul was an expert barber and give the best fades. Learned how to cut hair in prison when he was only 17. I mean, seriously, they make that into a stop. And I am not making fun of this guy or whoever he is. He looks like he can cut me. But that gets made into a Pokestop, but here I am trying to make Pokestops, and it's not necessarily working out for me. There's a shiny and a pink and a fairy theme going on here. I had the shiny Clefable in there, and Boltaby had a shiny Jigglypuff. That's super rare. Somebody else had a Cleffa. These other ones aren't shiny except for this. I always want to say Alola Bidoof. Isn't that funny? But no, that's Patrat. So this was one that I caught like this, and then when I purified it, of course, it became perfect. So that's awesome. There's that old boy there. The new Pokemon started showing up from Gen 5. Carablast. On the way to getting a Carablast, I saw a Golbat in the wild. That's crazy. And a Chimecho in the wild. I kept seeing these over and over again, and I could never make it there in time because I was either at work or doing something else, or they're just too far away, or caught them too, or saw them on radar too late, and blah blah blah. But I did eventually get some timbers, and you'll see that later on here. Trubbish. That was one of my first. I think it was a 5K hatch. I think I've hatched 3 so far. And after 2 of them, with the hatchathon going on with the double candy or whatever, I had enough candy to evolve it already. Throw, that one can be from hatches, but it can also be in the wild. Very rare. Some people around the area were also hatching Sock, but just like one, because it's a regional, just like with when they had the pink and the baby blue Shellos, those were, when they first launched them, some people were lucky enough to get a blue one, even though that was supposed to be the other hemisphere of the planet. Basculine in the wild. I made that Carablast into Escavalier. Cavalier. That's, I don't know. It seems like the newer Pokemon that they released from Gen 5, I think that there was some mix-ups with Gen 5 stuff. Not that they did it wrong, but like when they were making the game, the original games. And because there's this one called Shelmet, and to me it seems like he would turn into Escavalier. Cavalier. But instead, it's a really low CP, but it was a good stat one, so I'm going to have to power it up. Because this is actually pretty effective. I've heard from some other people battling with it in raids and PvP. But anyways, I think that I'll go back to that thought later. Here's a gift he gave me, blah, blah, blah. Garbodor. Already had enough. I talk about this on my blog. Check that out. These are Galarian form, Slowpoke, Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno. So, I mean, Articuno looks badass. Some more pictures. This is the absolute lowest of the low. When you hatch something or you do a field research for something, 10, 10, 10. It never goes lower than this, but this is the lowest that you can get, and that stinks. Another Smeargle. Been catching a lot of those recently with these pictures being taken. There's a Carolina Nut Boy right there. So, Bagons. I've been seeing a couple Bagons near towards the end of the year and the beginning of this year during the Hatchathon and all this other stuff. It was crazy. I was seeing Bagons and Larvitars. Okay, so let me explain this. I believe I can fly picture. I was up in the sky when I came back out from a Team Rocket battle. And I don't know if it was because I was doing the Team Rocket battle and I walked really far away from where it was and the game didn't know where to put me. But I guess I'm walking in the clouds there. That was in the wild. Isn't that crazy? This was not the first heat train I caught. I think this was several. But the first raid week that they had, or raid hour that they had for it on the one Wednesday, I got one, and I was like, okay, finally. And I was the first one in the car to get it, and then somebody else got it, and blah, blah, blah. Then the next week, nobody in the car was getting it, except for me. And I got 4 more. So I've already traded it to Sarah, Shiro Okami. And I've got 1 or 2 of them lined up to be traded away. So, don't don't be all excited yet. But I did get one that was 2 clicks away from perfect. That's when I put a heart on something, that's what that means. So yeah, awesome. Time polls have been absolutely screwing with me. I want to evolve it, but I either have super low ones with okay stats, or I have these kind of things where I catch it and it's high CP, but like it'll mock me with like, and then here's another one mocking me. There's 0, 15, 14 or 0, 15, 15. I keep getting these time polls that are just not good enough to evolve, for me anyway. I took a picture of a bunch of ones that I was saving back for a friend, but unfortunately we are no longer friends. So a lot of these have been called by other people. Well, not a lot, but you know, some of them I've either gotten rid of, or the shinies I'm keeping back for other people to trade them. Enough of that. And then, again, I'm going to probably make a video soon about this whole situation with the Wayfarer. There's things I don't like about it. I was making Mavericks a stop as a joke. I made the most plain picture, the most plain description, the most plain reasoning why this should become a Pokestop, and it gets to become a Pokestop. Meanwhile, GameSwap, a game store in the same shopping center as this place, same kind of picture, and a much better description and a much better reasoning for it to become a stop, has already been rejected once. And it's in voting now. It better make it in. But knowing my luck, it'll make it in, and then Mavericks will stay on Pokemon Go. And because this one is quote-unquote too close, because I've had people who've had that issue with this Wayfarer thing, where it puts it in the Harry Potter game, or it puts it in Niantic's first game, the Inverse, or is it Inverse? I forgot the name of it already. Sorry. I need to take some notes or something. Battle another trainer 3 times. This was kind of rare to find in the wild, but I've seen 2 of them. Or I hatched one and I caught one, but I keep seeing them and I just never can get to them. This is the Maverick stop was made. And great, awesome. It was made into a stop, whatever. But I wanted GameSwap to be a stop first. And definitely in precedence over Mavericks, because I work at GameSwap, blah, 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 whatever. It's not getting accepted. This took about a month to get accepted, and I don't understand that. I've had other people who turn around a week later and they get accepted. And, well, I don't know. Maybe it was because of the holidays. I don't know. Like I said, I'm going to make another video on that, and I don't want to go too far into that. But here's the basic description I gave. A card and comic shop. And it gets approved. Whatever. And here I am at work, so it's not too close to that because I can't even spend both of them. And they have plenty of Pokestops out there that are, you know, you can sit in the middle of them and you could hit 3 or 4 different stops or a gym or something. You know, so it's not too close. If they deem that as too close, like when they go to make it if they make it a stop and they end up making it for Ingress, yeah, Ingress is what I was talking about, or the Harry Potter game or whatever other game that they're working on, but not in Pokemon Go, I'm going to be upset. Here's this. You see this glitchy overlap here. I just took a picture. I always take pictures of glitches and stuff. Mavericks is actually getting a lot of traffic there for Pokemon spawns, which is great. I mean, look, 8 out of 9 of my nearby Pokemon are at Mavericks when I was at work. Here are the regionals, the new Gen 5 regionals here. So, as I was saying before, somebody got a sock in the area from a hatch, but and it was a Dayton, Ohio egg, so it was not a like he didn't spoof somewhere to get the egg and blah blah blah. Maractus, Sigalith, and there's 2 different Basculines. There's I like how it says blue here and blue here, but what they mean is that this one's the red stripe one, there's a blue stripe one. So Yeah, that's from the Prime Meridian. We are west of the Prime Meridian, and they are east of the Prime Meridian, so they get it. And it's cool that Greece and Egypt get their own exclusive one now, so that's kind of cool. It's and then there's the Mexican and South American Maractus. And Sock is Europe, Asia, and Oceania, and the Americas and Africa get Throw. There's another Joltik that I caught in the wild. Larvitar, rare in the wild. Here was the Piplup Community Day. I only got to do it for an hour. Thank you so much, Green Onion Stick, for letting me ride with you before work. It was a Sunday, and I opened at noon. It started at 11, so I did get 6 of them. I wrote about it on my blog. You can check that out later. Another bag on. And I got another. This one I didn't even notice it until after I basically caught it. Or after, I clicked on it, because usually I'm like a hawk when I look at that. But this was one of those things where I clicked on it and then looked away and then looked back down. And I'm like, oh, shiny again. Great. Here's the post office. Sometimes there's a lot of spawns that happen at the post office. So 2 shiny possible ones and 2 time pulls. I cannot wait to make Seismitoad, but I'm not going to do it if I got like super low time poles. Catch 10 Pokemon. Then here's a Throw in the wild. They do appear in the wild. So the stop that Sarah Shiro Okami had made at Van Buren, it's a hot spot for some Pokemon sometimes. And during this here, there was 3 or 4 Apoms that showed up. None of them shiny, of course. We were on our way to do this Clink raid, and I didn't get a shiny of that either. But it's a hot spot. Of course, there's not going to be as many spawns as there would be with a bunch of other stops and a bigger park. But still, though, it's a hot spot. Right now, I think it's a hot spot for Growlithe. I am trying to make Hothead Burrito a stop. Boost right here used to be a stop, but because of that whole sprint deal that went down, and I don't know if that means Starbucks is going to go down here soon, because I want to say the Starbucks deal happened a good 6 months to a year after the sprint deal happened. But now the sprint deal is over with, so all the sprint gyms and stops are down, including Boost. So I was like, well, there used to be a stop here, but it was at Boost. Now let's try to make it at Hothead. I like to eat there. I'm not too sure why I took a picture of this. Oh, yeah, you see the flower petals from the silly lure, but you can't tell who the lure thing is. I don't know if that's a setting that other people can do, like when they don't want people to see what they've caught on their friends list. If that also makes it to where you can't see them posting on here, or if they sign in under a Pokemon, the kids Pokemon account or whatever, if they're not allowed to see their name or something. I don't know. That's kind of goofy to me, because they can go in gyms, they can do battles, raids and stuff like that. So I don't know why you couldn't see their name, but whatever. Couldn't see the name. There's several times I've done that. And sometimes when I've restarted, you can actually see their name. But other times, like, you can't see their name when they put down a lure, and that kind of stinks. I like to see people's names. There's a Primeape in the wild, and that rare. Then with this new battle system that's come in, Go Battle, and even before then, you'll see this is all a line here, over here. The gyms just started lining up, and they appear in the wrong place. And I think I show that here too. Here's a bunch of Magikarp. And Gyarados are appearing in the wild, and they can be shiny. And I wish I'd have known this, but Magmars can be too. This came from a 7K egg. Man, that upset me. I was like, what? And it wasn't even shiny. I got this, I think, from a 7K egg as well. In fact, I think I've gotten 2, maybe 3 of them, but not the double candies like they're in the Hatchathon. But here's another Gyarados. I like to take, again, pictures of, especially Dewskull. Looks really cool as a shadow. And then this gym right here is not there. it's the Central Christian Church. It's supposed to be way down the street down here, because this is where Mavericks is, and this is where I work. And way down the street, it's halfway to the green from where I work is where that gym is supposed to be. But for whatever reason, the gyms have been moving around all over the place. Here's another one. Deep in the park over here is where the gym should be, but they put it at the end of the street here. Whatever. They've been screwing that up. When are you ever going to see that again? It's during this red, what do you call it? The Year of the Rat, and red is the theme of this Lunar New Year thing. Whatever. There's that. 2 of those. Nidorina, I've talked about this in previous videos. I want to catch a Nidorina shiny in the wild. And you can, well, at least during this red Lunar event, you can catch these 2 since they're red or reddish in the wild shiny. So that's awesome. And Magmars have been appearing everywhere, so have Gyarados, but I haven't seen any shiny of either one of those. So that kind of stinks. He's playing it on my Nintendo NES trackpad mat. He likes that thing. And this is a CP10 3-star Battle with the Best of Them Magikarp. I threw it away because, you know, I've already got perfect one and blah, blah, blah. And then here's another thing. I was so tired. I got home and took off my shoes, and the app was giving me fits. And then when I restarted the app, here they are. I ain't going back out in that. I still don't have either one of these. Or, well, it's the same one, but I don't have those. And that really stinks. Here's the battle things. I was having some laggy problems. You can click on it, and it'll tell you what Pokemon that you could possibly get when you click on the encounter thing. So that's kind of cool. Tentacruel, that was actually one of the first Pokemon that I caught in Pokemon Go. Tentacruel, I caught Tentacruel before I caught Tentacool. And then they have it, they were giving you a bunch of free trials with this Go Battle League. Well, it wasn't a bunch of free trials, it was just basically you could choose one or the other, and I chose the one that I didn't pay for, which was, I don't know, that was confusing. But regardless, I chose the lesser one. And when you're done with the free trial one, which is like 5 battles, then it allows you to walk to get another battle pass, which it's not giving me the option. It's really confusing. It's not giving me the option to do the paid for battle pass. But then when you walk a certain distance, it discounts your walking to Battle Now just by paying coins. I ain't doing that. I'm already walking it, so I'm just going to finish walking it. I think you can do that twice. You walk 5 kilometers twice and have 2 battle passes. But don't quote me on that. Here's this. I got this up on my blog too. These are the encounters, including Scraggy. It looks like Scraggy, that's the only way to get him is when you make it to about rank 4 or 5 or 6. You can... oh, it says including the ones from rank 1 through 3. Oh, that kind of stinks. What if you get an encounter and it's all these other ones that don't matter? But I would like to get a Skarmory, Meditite, or Machop shiny. That'd be awesome. Scraggy, they're going to make you, they're going to force you to play over and over and over again in order to get Scraggy that way. But whatever. Dino, that's a nice one. I mean, come on, seriously, Dino for this? So hopefully it's not too hard to go through that, but we'll see. Now, there's this guy, and I don't care, I'm not political, but this guy was a jerk. Obviously, he was trying to piss people off with his name, and putting his Pokemon in all these gyms around here, obviously spoofing to do it, and he kept kicking me out. He took credit for me taking over a gym, and I wasn't going to give up, so I didn't give up, and I eventually kicked him out of the post office gym, and And then some other people from Instinct joined in. So go Team Instinct. And then now let's go to my Pokemon, and I will show you them. So, glitches, pictures, you saw all that. I'm at 25 minutes. I gotta go through this quick. I don't like making these videos long. The last one was way too long. But, of course, instead of it being every week, being really long-winded, I'm only doing it once a month. But let's go through my last month of stuff. And the thing that I forgot last month was all the Community Day ones, so I'll do that first. These were all the ones that I evolved during the Community Day weekend, which allowed you to get all of the exclusive Community Day moves during that weekend for all the rest of the year. That way, if you hatched a better or caught a better one afterwards, then boom, there you go. You can go ahead and do that. So let's do that first. And I had labeled them Community Day, and I still have not. Relabeled them, but that was because I forgot to talk about them in the last video. I did 18 of them, it looks like, and I got a Leafeon with Last Resort. That's nice. Most all of these are battle with the best of them too, so that's great. Glaceon with Last Resort. This was a male, unfortunately, but it was a battle with the best of them. I caught so many Routses on that Community Day weekend, the first hour of the Sunday day. Again, thank you, Green Onion Stick, for giving me a ride for that. And one of them happened to be a battle with the best of them male, of course, but I already had a battle with the best of them male Gallade that I had made. That, you know, again, that was a 3-star. But this one was I don't have a female one, so I was like, well, I mean, I have a male. It's confusing. The Gardeviors can be male or female. The Gallades can only be male. That was because that was a generation after these had come out. But I wanted a female one, which I did on the Routes Community Day, but I didn't get a good shiny female one, so that'll be possibly up for trade. I don't know. Synchronoise is not that great of a move or whatever, but whatever. So this was, I made it into a female one, or made it into Gardevoir, I should say, but it's male. So, and then here's Beldum. This one is not shiny, but it is a 1 click away from perfect one, so that will be one that I power up. Here is a perfect Squirtle, though, that I got during that Starters raid day, and now I evolved it all the way up with its Community Day move, Hydro Cannon, all the way up to Blastoise. Talked about the last, what do you call that? Last Resort ones. And I also made a Last Resort Glaceon? Or not Glaceon, I'm sorry. I meant to say a Last Resort. I'm saving for next year's Community Day makeup time for Umbreon and Espeon. I had to walk those up ahead of time. That's how I have them as my buddy now, and I want to make them both my best buddies. So they will not only be my best buddies, and they'll be battle with the best of them, and they'll have Last Resort, but they'll be Umbreon and Espeon. So whatever, that's a whole other tangent there. This was a Shadow Pupitar. Now, that was the thing, you could get Smackdown on it, since it's not a Community Day move, because the Shadow ones can only learn Frustration, that's it, until you purify them, and then you can add another move on them. I guess you can add another move on this, but that's 225,000 and 225 candy. Stardust and candy, that's way too much. But you could if you wanted to. This one has Smackdown, though. Shadow Tyranitar. And then here's another one, Diamond. 1 click away from perfect. Cyndaquil with its Community Day move. This was one that I hatched, and it was not battle with the best of them. But it is better stats than my current shiny Metagross. So I need to invest a lot of candy and Stardust in this one to power this one up, because Metagross is pretty badass. Here is one that's 2 clicks away from perfect. Here's one that's 1 click away from perfect. These are ones that I caught after their respective community days, and then for the makeup community day, I decided, hey, let me just do this and make a better one with their community day move. Here's one that's 2 clicks away from perfect. 1 click away from perfect, Charmander. Then one up to Charizard with the community day move. Same thing with another Larvitar, all the way up to getting Smackdown, 1 click away from perfect. And then here is one that I believe I hatched this one. No, I caught this one, and it was a battle with the best of them. There was a while I was catching a bunch of shiny Bulbasaurs after. And since that was one of the first community days, you're going to see that one. You're probably going to have more of those, or see that one more often, because Bulbasaurs spawn a lot, especially if it's sunny out. So that is that. And then this one was a better stat, not battle with the best of them, but it was better stat Swinub that I had. So I evolved it all the way up, and same thing with this. This is actually a hatch, a battle with the best of them Squirtle that I shiny that I made all the way up to get its community day move. And then here is another one that's a battle with the best of them. That was probably one of my better stat Swinubs. So there you go. And I'm going to be saving some for next makeup time too, next community day. So that's something to look forward to at the end of next year. I just said it, next year. At the end of this year, I should say. January. It does that every time, right? Ooh, speaking of Magmar, not shiny. Daggone it. That stinks. Wouldn't that have been awesome if I'd have made that video? There's that. Okay, so I didn't go over my community day ones in the last video, so wow, that took up a lot of time. Here's shiny. Here's my recent shiny catches in this last month. The Piplups, I got 6, and I made 1 Empoleon, 1 Piplup, or Primplup, but man, they're just way low stat. The stats are low, but they were the better stats of the ones, and they were super low CP, so whatever. That third Rattata that I caught, I'm keeping. I traded the other one to Poohbutt. I caught a second Poochyena. I was so excited. And again, female. And then I made that one into Mightyena. So I have that family complete. I caught a third Mankey. Wait a minute. What was it? This is my 4th Mankey. The second one that I got was from a trade. And then I've caught 3 others, and one of them I traded away already. But this one's a female one. That's another thing too that I'm starting to mark. I got my, I think, my 3rd Lillipup, so now I have the whole Lillipup family. I think I covered that in the last video, or in a previous video. And then here's my, I think my 4th or 5th shiny Magikarp. Let me see here. So I went through, when I was getting rid of my one friend's, former friends, I got 4 now, but I've had 5 total. 1 traded to me, and then my first one, which I evolved, which is awesome, Gyarados. But I went through and relabeled a lot of these for sale, so here's the ones that are for sale. I say that for sale, but they're not really for sale, they're just for trade, is what I mean. So, shown these off before, but a lot of these had her name on them before. Then I also have this. I put F behind the ones that are female. So those shiny females, here they are. These are the ones up for trade that are shiny females. Lots of routes. That's the other thing. Those were the ones up for trade. Oh, here's ones that have been recently traded. There it is, Timber. We did several raids, and I finally got some Timbers. So I do have the whole Timber family, including Conkeldurr, which ended up being not perfect, but lucky. And man, that was so awesome. So I have a lucky one. This will be cheaper to power it up. In fact, I'll just go ahead and start powering it up. The candy bag out. Boom. So, the lucky ones and the purified ones, those are so good to power up. This will be one. I don't know why I put 2 stars behind it, but this will be one that I'll be saving for next Community Day. Obviously, the Community Day makeup time, because that will be my lucky Venusaur. I want to get all the starters lucky. So far, I do have a lot of them. Like, here's Snivy for its Community Day. This one I can't evolve because it's the Halloween costume one. So, but yeah, let me put these in order. The ones that are lucky, I have the whole 1 generations. Yeah, Infernape, Torterra, and Empoleon, all lucky. And then I believe I had a lucky Piplup too. There's Snivy. Oh yeah, duh. Piplup turns into Empoleon. Shut up. And then, you know, I'd like to get all of the starters as lucky so that they show up as lucky in the decks when I evolve them all the way up for their Community Day moves. Their respective Community Day moves, I should say. Okay. So, shinies. Oh, yeah, new entries. Some other ones. Let me just go by number here. So, I've got Golurk. I finally made that. I got a lucky trade from that, so that was awesome. I made Excelgor, and again, super low CP, but it was the one with the better stats. Of course, I got a better one now, since then, Shelmet, that I can evolve up. Well, it's not better, but at least it's higher CP. This was crazy. Here's a perfect. I'll make a perfect Beartic soon. This was from Field Research. Nuts! Show you my other perfects here. Shiny Clink, 2 Joltics, neither one of them good enough to evolve. I do have a Carablast that is, let me see here, it's a better CP. Some of these ones that are worth it for trading, Conkeldurr was definitely worth it. But yeah, this one's actually, that one's better stats, but I need 200 candy, and I had close to 800 rare candy. Now I'm down. It's nuts. Let's see how down I am. Man. Items. Yeah, 419, so I about spent half of them. Or almost half of them. So there's Garbodor. Darumaka, I did hatch 3 of these. These are from another region. This is from the Philippines, and this is from California. Thanks to my friend out in California mailing that to me. Or gifting that to me, I should say. Well, it wasn't traded, but it was, you know, from a gift that I opened up from California, from them. Justin Times, I think his name is. And I could evolve this one. But the stats are not good enough for me. I'll figure that out later, maybe next video. I did make Whirlipede and Scolipede, or the human centipede. Fro, of course, got that. Still not a good enough time pull for me, but I got a pretty good Girder and Timber and Conkeldurr, of course. And I did hatch 1 Roggenrola, but I need to get more to get up to Gigalith. And then here's my whole shiny family of Lillipup. And wouldn't you know, look at this, I've got a perfect Stoutland already. Right? Perfects and shiny seem to go hand in hand with me sometimes. Never a perfect shiny, but then look at this. I hatched another perfect Lillipup. So I like to have the whole family perfect and whole family shiny. Oh, aren't I greedy? Yeah, ready for this one to be lucky, evolved all the way up during its Community Day. It's speaking about community days and recent happenings in the game, check out again my blog. Under the Nintendo Agenda part, I've been keeping these up to date all the time. Infographics, organizing tips. I need to update that one here soon. But the community day, this next one that's coming up, man, they threw us for a loop on this one. This changes a lot of the rules. If you want to read more about that, go to my blog, and that's some crazy stuff. But you already know about that. And then my shiny up-to-date stuff, too. So there's new entries. Not going to evolve anything today. Got my good stat ones, my perfect ones, shiny ones. Showed you some of the distance ones that I've gotten recently. I guess I could show you some other distance ones. Oh yeah, and the shadow purified ones. Showing you my Pokemon takes a long time. For the last month's catches. Doo-doo-doo, taking forever. Wow. I've been having sign-in problems too. How about you guys? There's this app that I was using. It was called GoTool, but they've taken it down from the App Store for Google for Android. And it was never up on the Apple iTunes or whatever the hell they call it store for them. So that's kind of crazy. He said something about copyright issues or whatever. They're still updating it. It's still there if you've already downloaded it. But yeah, you can't get a new one now. So that's pretty crazy. Or you can't get that app now, and it's a pretty good app, I think. That was where that picture of the new regionals. That came from that app. So yeah, let's go back to this again real quick. Shadow and purified. Here's my recent ones. I haven't been purifying stuff recently, but I want to wait for a task where I have to do a bunch of them so that, you know, I think maybe next time that'll be a thing. People have been catching shiny shadow Absols from Sierra. That's crazy, isn't it? And then distance ones. Let's see if there's any other crazy distance ones that I've gotten recently. I don't think so. So I'll make more distance ones. Oh, nothing really good. Another one from Japan. I think I talked about this in the last video, though. Yeah, because that was before the end of the month. So nothing great there. What else? New entries, evolves, perfect, stag, things traded. Oh yeah, I can show you my perfect ones that I've gotten. Which I already showed you was that I got my second Lillipup. That was crazy. That was at the end of the year. I must have covered that in the last video. The beginning of the year, though, I kept hatching these, and I'm like, ugh. But then I got a perfect one. So, and then here's Nidoran male. After trying to get so many shinies here, I got a perfect. And then a perfect Cubchoo, like I said. Turned that into B-Arctic. And then there was that picture of that one before that needed to be purified. Once it was purified, boom! Perfect. So, yeah, there's my perfects, my shinies, my new entries, traded ones, lucky ones, yeah, go through the luckies. Right now it's extra lucky time, although I haven't gotten a lot. Bulbasaur and Conkeldurr, so. Let's see here. From Shadow and Purified. So that's really it. I talked about my blogger, and I want you guys to go ahead and check that out. Sorry this video, again, is way too long. But this lines up on the day, right? For this, I was doing this every week, and now it's like, ugh, every month. At least it's not a 30-minute video every week. It's only a 40-minute video at the end of the month. This is for Lapras again. Not shiny. Wow. Great. Let's see if it's any good, though. This is a double legacy move, but I already have a ton of those from when they had the Lapras Day. And I actually had, not a double legacy, but I do have legacy ones from way back in the day. But it kind of dilutes them when, like, I have so many of them. My 7-day streak. And again, one that is not good enough. But whatever. There you go. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll talk with you guys next month. I'm working on 3 different videos. Oh, wow, now we're at 45 minutes. Working on 3 different videos. Shorter videos, definitely. One about the Wayfarer stops. One about this stupid, oh god, I hate this, and I don't want to start on this now. But there's going to be a Cinchino Day, the field research days. I hate those. I'm going to talk about field research days. That's soon, so. And also about stupid buddy tricks. That'll be a really short video, because some people don't know about the stuff that I'm going to talk about there, but I'll talk about that, and look forward to that, I guess. Sorry this was so long, and I will catch you guys next time. Happy hunting out there.